with his face. I want to be a knight, like Heath Ledger in A Knight's Tale, where you come from shit and you become a knight. But to do so, I have to be a millionaire. And when I'm a millionaire, I don't want a knighthood.
Normal people get knighted still.
Well, what about that lady who's the oldest person in the world? Who's not the oldest person in the world, she's just really old. And she gets postcards. She's not knighted. And if she was, what would she do? Would we fire her at the enemy?
Did you? That's just reminded me. Do you know how many people are over 100 years old in this country?
I know, but I know it's increasing because that's why we're all complaining.
What would you guess at?
10%.
Give it
They're
a
just
number.
fucking with percentage. I don't know. 1,000.
It's something like 28,000 people or 35,000. It's something ridiculously. Because it was a question on a quiz thing the other day, and I was at Grace's house.
So lazy. We need to get these people in camps.
Me and Dan were just like 50, 100.
No, but just goes to show that people are living longer, which is why all these pension schemes are getting even more corrupt. Because you'll pay into your pension and work till you're 90.
It sickens me.
But they keep putting it in front of you. It's the yellow brick road. It's like, we'll get there in the end. Emerald City is just around this next corner. Emerald City of the big payoff.
I'd like to retire when I'm 50. I want to earn enough money in my life that I can retire at 50 and just do whatever I want then.
I'm on a house. I need to buy some life upgrades because I'm getting digged.
But I like having a queen and a monarchy and the royal family.
I like the idea of a monarchy. I just don't see
practice.
the value of it.
I think that we do pomp and circumstance better than any other country. When we do like parades and like when they did the Jubilee on the Thames with all the boats and stuff, and when everyone goes to Pall Mall and they're all waving flags and like the royal wedding and stuff, all the hype with that. I think we do that well as a country.
But you say we do that well. The majority of the country doesn't care.
No, but
about
I think
that stuff.
enough people do still care.
If anything,
At least we do
it's
something
people
well.
outside the country that care more. Like in America and in Canada and stuff, the coverage was insane because it's this big event, and there's people here like, what's happening? Like people in the goddamn country wondering what is all this shit, and you don't get that in other things. Like you don't get. I said my experience. I don't really follow a lot of the cultural significant moments in people's history. Like I don't watch the American debates and the primaries and stuff because to me,
the way that America does politics is baffling to a lot of us, I think.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where American politics is not exactly something that is ever really pushed on us, so you have to go out of your way to be interested in it. And I'm not interested in the politics that run the country I live in because the more I read, the more I think this is just a corrupt, the rich get richer system of bullshit. This is just YouTube in real life, and I get enough on YouTube, so fuck that. Yeah. But at least in America, it turns into a show where they've got ladies with big titty shows and it's like when Apollo Creed comes out in a Rocky IV. You know he's going to get his ass kicked by Ivan Drago, but he puts on a good show, and then dies, and then we're sad.
Yeah.
But I don't. The pomp is interesting, but I think there's so much better pomps. Like the Vatican, to the Swiss Guard and shit like that. That is pomp. Like the Pope Mobile, the outfits, the silly hats.
Yeah, but that's pomp in a different sense.
Yeah, but it's still. I'd rather have that stuff than an old bitch who always looks like she's wearing some kind of funeral garb, just waving with a floppy hand as she goes everywhere, not
Honestly,
really doing much.
You should see the video of her winning whatever horse race it was. She's so giddy. It's adorable.
Oh, the Queen. But
I think
it's such a strange thing that we still have it.
They've never shown the documentary that they did.
Oh, that one on the family?
Yeah,
I read
again
about
after
that.
it was on. And I think they should. I think it'd give people an insight. Because, especially for us...
We're in a generation that doesn't value the royal family.
It's an old woman on the throne, and
and it's an ignorant perspective to be in, and I joke about it, but it's true.
The history of this monarchy that's currently in, as in the actual Queen and Prince Philip and stuff, we don't learn about that in school. We learn about Henry VIII and things, which is interesting, but it's not necessarily relevant to how
it's not relevant to our
country now.
When it comes
And
to
the fact that she
our
was so
future.
young and her father died and she had to take over and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, and she's been doing it, and she does a lot of stuff. And I think people are just like, oh, what does she do? She doesn't do anything. She's like 86 or something ridiculous. And most people that age do very little.
Yeah, she's very active for her
She's
age.
so active for age. I mean, Prince Philip's like 92. And they're going to Australia and
Just because you're sure, don't you know, you've got money.
South Africa and...
You're unkillable. You get some money in your pocket
I don't
and you
know.
cannot be killed, because when you
Prince
have
Philip's
that many
massive
dollar
something.
notes in your pockets, it stops bullets,
Don't
it
know.
stops knife wounds, it stops old age,
I think you're probably going to find
It
that
stops-
the Queen doesn't carry
it stops
money.
the gay, it stops everything. And you know, all the Queen's been doing in these last few years is trying to get slavery back, and then we'll be an emperor again. Big old empire of oppression.
The Queen has not been trying to get slavery back.
It's one of those things where you know when people make that fantastic generalisation of, do you remember when we were great? When Great Britain was great?
Oh, God.
It's like what? When we were pillaging countries and telling them what to believe, and if they didn't believe what we believed, we killed them in public executions, and
The last like century,
we
we've
turned
not
their
done all
people
that
into
much.
slaves.
Like, oh yeah, I wish we went back to when Britain was great. Oh yeah, during the war perhaps, when we were getting constantly bombed and constantly bombing. Yeah, fabulous. Or during the 70s and the 80s of the economic depression. Yeah, brilliant. Like, at which point in history are you wanting to go back to?
Exactly. When
When
was
things
this
were so much
perfect
better than
time?
they are now.
Like, my grandma gets me with that. Every time she says it, oh, I don't have much faith in this generation.
Well, we did it.
I won't want to live in this generation. You're
Attitudes
living
to
in this generation, Grandma.
attitudes to language of like the
You're
complaint
living in it.
tradition. The complaint tradition linguistically is people complaining about the state of the language, which has happened since language.
It's not fair, is it?
Literally, there's always been somebody saying, I don't like how them kids are talking now.
Yeah, but you know,
What's
after
the
4
knowledge?
years old, when you achieve perfect speech, isn't that one of those things where
God.
where that debate ends?
Well, clearly.
Look at this guy! He's unkillable. This guy is the queen of Saints Row. He's just took a face full of confetti while he waves at me. This gun is not fun.
Yeah, people complaining that language is going downhill. And
It's so
I mean,
dumb.
I don't think the rise of sort of the internet grammar Nazi has helped very much, but this idea that there's a way to do it properly, and you're just like, nobody.
Well, the subculture of text speak, which I believe is quite an... Look at this motherfucker just railing me.
Can he not hit you there?
I don't think so. I'm just going to stay here, get my life back. Continue to ice him. Good try, I'm a little cheesy laser.
He's not hitting you.
Fuck you. I'll gladly take that if it means... Right, now we can leave. Carry on. Stop being distracted. Keep talking.
You were saying something.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I don't remember
text
what I
speak epidemic, I think.
No, I'd made my point. I don't think the text language epidemic helps at all, because I think that stuff is abhorrent.
See, but that's the thing. Like, how is that any different to somebody no longer saying hither and thither?
But I say hither, and I think it's cool.
But do you say thither? That's the point.
No, I say alas. I say thus.
Yeah, but they're not the weird
I say
ones.
henceforth.
They're the ones that have stayed. But
No, they're the ones that I created because I'm amazing.
Okay. But there'll be
Say
other
I'm
ones
amazing.
that we no longer say anymore because they're not relevant.
Carry
I'm
on.
not saying
Oh, no. I'm
Yeah.
going to fail. God, I hope I got a checkpoint. Go on, drive back, you stupid car.
Nobody left. Oh, he's not going to fit in your car.
No, I need that black guy that does
Where is
not
he?
but fucking die. Then I go over to him with my Michael Jackson glove and pick him up. He's useless. Look at all the grenades. I've got no wheels on this car. There you go. Now, my thing with language is, I preferred language when it was made by a bunch of old men telling you how to live,
Right.
which is why I believe in religion,
Is it?
and why I think that women and equality will never ever become to be,
Wow.
because women are biologically and intellectually inferior to men because they have a smaller brain,
Wow.
and I think that that is awesome. And I think if we make education better, we get more jobs.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure where the language thing for me is. I take great pride that I come from England, and the English language is, you know, all the Germanic things that manifested in our region and became this language. Yet it's no more our language than it is Germany's language and like Nordic languages and things, because it's an amalgamation of everything.
It's a living thing, and I think people forget that. that languages are alive and
God, this
they
level
can die
fucking
so easily.
blows.
It's something ridiculous, like 100 languages die a day.
Yeah, in Africa usually. Catch AIDS and stuff. You gotta talk. You can't let it have a dramatic pause because people think I'm being serious.
That's true. No, this is
No, actually, some people like that silence right there was amazing. So some people appreciate the
rolled.
humour.
Yeah, if ever there's a big pause, like it's just said something, that's me rolling my eyes.
That is the inappropriate moment of the day.
Yeah.
Like this one. I get pulled out my car and then he shuts me back in. What is it? What is happening? What is happening? I hate this game. This mission is dog shit. This is a big fat winged piece of white dog shit. Yes. It's better. It's got better.
You're abandoning
Oh, come on! I don't want the follower. I think we broke the system. Carry on.
I don't even know why we would.
You were talking about language and I made my extremely derogatory silly thing about
they move
sexism.
so quickly and new words come about and that sort of thing, and it's moving too fast for us to keep up with. So what's the point?
I don't.
There's certain things that, because they are common practice. Jesus Christ.
What is even happening at this point?
Were they killing each other?
They were
on the
fighting
same
and then
team?
no, that was the luchadors getting the soldier guys. Did you not see him with his green mask? In his green, look at him. Luchadors, dead ones in a car. So sad. You got to keep up, my lovely. You got to get that brain.
Like,
just
train of thought.
relax your eye.
On to the next
Just relax
station.
your eye and talk. You're doing fine.
I forgot even what I was on. So.
You were on about you can't keep up with it because it's expanding too.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. There's things that are still in
amorphously.
common usage that I think should be taught. My pet peeve is could have
Instead of could have.
or could have.
Could have.
Instead of could have, people say could have,
Could have.
which annoys me. And
What as in the could apostrophe VE?
yeah,
Yeah.
which
Wow.
is obviously correct as opposed to of, which
Could
of doesn't even make logical sense.
It's like when people say I seen.
Well, but that still makes actual sense. And that's the thing, it's
But
the
would you
line
say that
between-
would be specifically something that you don't like?
Well, things like your and there
Yeah.
and there.
Which
and
everybody
two
can
and
mistake,
two.
because
Yeah,
it does happen.
everyone does it wrong on occasion. And, but I think
Like if
it's
I'm
still-
tired, I will fuck those up for days, and then I'll notice I fucked them up, and I'll feel nothing but shame. But it's something that happens.
Yeah, and you can't help it. And
Like when I was little, I used to put which, for which way type of thing, without a H. So essentially it was like wick, like some German word, and I don't know why I did it, but I did it for so long, I sometimes have to think,
Well,
there's a
thing.
H in this.
You say you don't know why you did it. That's how it sounds. That's the phonetic spelling, W-I-C-H.
See, I'm just a baller from a childhood age.
It's a common...
Linguist in the making.
Because it's weird things that, like, if you didn't know, looks really stupid, but kids hear, especially when they're still growing their own language, not necessarily here phonetically, but their hearing is more fine-tuned to things that, effectively when you're born, your brain is able to receive any type of language, so sounds that we don't make in English, so like rolling R's or things at the back of the throat and stuff, because we don't
Gutturals.
eventually we grow out of being able to do it, or being able to hear it properly.
So is it one of them things, could you teach yourself to do it again? Or is it something that your brain just automatically compensates?
Not necessarily in the same way that a native speaker would be able to.
Because you know what I always think is a good example for that? Is 24.
Well, the thing...
Because on 24, there's this moment where this kid turns out to be a terrorist, and he's an Asian terrorist, and this American kid goes to him, "But Ahmed, why would you do this?" And he's like, "You're not even pronouncing my name right. It's not Ahmed, it's Ahmed." And it's like, ooh, evil motherfucker.
Well, so...
And I've just ruined that season for you.
Yeah.
It's Kumar.
Spoiler alert.
It's Kumar.
But
Harold and Kumar.
that's why when babies are sort of babbling and making noise, they're able to make noises that sound weird, because they're just not noises that we have in our language anymore, as we've grown up and adapted to it. But one thing that kids
I should really go for these targets.
aren't always able to do is hear nasal sounds properly. So often in spelling,
Oh, I'm getting doused.
they'll miss or put in ms and ns
And
because
it's
they
not
can.
necessarily their fault, it's just the